My husband left me, blind in a wheelchair, in an empty house. 3 days later, he watched TV and yelled, "It's too much hassle to take care of you, and you're going to live here by yourself." With those words, I sensed the door being shut behind me. Then the sound of a lock clicking made me panic. "Kevin, hey, you're still there, right? Kevin?" I called out, but there was no reply. The silence that followed only increased my panic. "Kevin, please answer." Oh no, I was in a wheelchair that I'm not used to yet. I accidentally tipped over and fell out of it. It hurts. How could this happen? I felt crushed by anxiety unless I spoke out. Where am I? Am I just going to die here alone? As I was overwhelmed by regret and sadness, tears began to flow. Laura. The sound of the door opening enveloped me in warmth. 3 days later, while she had the TV on, a feature about a particular store was playing. "Hey, what is this all about?" As I listened to the TV, the door burst open and the voice of the person I despised most in the world filled the room. "My name is Laura. I'm a 32-year-old housewife who works hard every day as a full-time employee of a major company. Since I was young, I've had a certain dream. I became completely enchanted by it when I saw it on TV as a child. Since then, I've studied hard to achieve that dream, and now I'm working diligently every day to save money for it. You're doing great, but don't push yourself too hard, okay? Thanks, but working towards my dream is really fun, I bet. I love seeing you so happy doing what you love." The person who fell in love with my determination was my husband, Kevin. He was a junior at my company, and our relationship started as a new employee and a supervisor of newcomers. Kevin was captivated by my efforts, asked about my dream, and started supporting me. Overwhelmed by his charms, we started dating, and after a few years, got married. Both of us worked at major companies, so it was feasible to allocate part of my salary to a dream fund without affecting our lifestyle. The dream that I'm pursuing, and I'm not alone in chasing it. Laura, how's it going on your end? Smoothly. How about you, Mary? Of course. I'm just a bit away from reaching our target amount. Mary is my best friend we met in high school. Hey, don't you think we look alike? Really? Do we? Well, now that you mention it, our vibes might be similar, even if our eye colors aren't. It was such light-hearted conversations that brought us close and we bonded deeply over sharing the same dream. Since then, we've been encouraging each other and working hard together to someday make our dream come true. Before I knew it, my dream had become our dream. My monthly joy is checking our dream fund account. The more the money accumulates, the more excited I get about us getting closer to our dream. However, when I checked it, I was stunned. About $5,000 had been withdrawn from our dream savings. The only people who know about this account are Kevin and Mary. Among them, only Kevin knows where the banking card is. I went straight home and confronted Kevin, who was lounging on the sofa. "Hey, you withdrew my money from my dream savings without asking, didn't you?" "Yeah, I borrowed a bit." "Borrowed? You know how hard I've been saving up for this." "Gosh, you're so noisy. I'll pay it back soon." He seemed apologetic, and I was so angry I could hardly think straight. Seriously? An old lady over 30 chasing dreams like a kid, isn't that ridiculous? Lately, Kevin has been mocking my dreams like this. If you have the time to pursue such a dream, then make a contribution to the younger me. He always brings up age when he criticizes. But Kevin, you supported me, and that doesn't give you the right to just use my money. It's fine. Our money is shared between us as a married couple. There's some money in there that I've been saving up since before I got married. Where did you put my banking card? I managed to get the banking card back from Kevin. I need to hide this banking card somewhere he can't find it next time. Stop nagging. If there's that much, it's okay to use a little, isn't it? This sting was like a gong going off in my head. I'm paying for all the living expenses and rent. I don't want to hear complaints from someone who doesn't contribute a dime. Wait, there's a big difference in our salaries. I'm older and started working earlier, but I'm still at the top of my performance. On the other hand, Kevin's performance is so poor, he's being outdone by juniors. That's because you were my supervisor. When was I your supervisor? Whose fault is it that someone hasn't tried to grow since then? You know an old lady can't sell her youth, so of course you have to work hard to make money. Lately, this is how quickly we start fighting. Until a few years ago, Kevin would say he was supporting me and to keep it up. But after I turned 30, he started calling me an old lady and frequently bringing up my age. If I ever talked back, Kevin would sulk and ignore me for a while, so I usually ended up apologizing to keep the peace. However, this time I was not in the mood to apologize. After our big fight, I called Mary. I'm sorry, Mary. We agreed to save up together and then this happened. Well, that's Kevin's fault. Don't worry about it, Laura. I apologized again, feeling both grateful and guilty as Mary laughed it off. We were so close to our target amount, but because of Kevin, it felt further away than ever. I couldn't help but sigh. Mary, hearing it over the phone, chuckled. Be careful, your happiness might slip away. Unlike me, you're married, so some ups and downs are inevitable. $5,000 is not just a minor thing. It was a good decision to have a separate account from Mary. Yeah, really. We'll have to be careful with Kevin from now on. Absolutely. Then we went on to talk about trivial things. At the time, I couldn't have imagined such a thing happening, and I thought our friendship would never break. I was on my way to a sales appointment as usual. While I was crossing the street, a car ran a red light and came barreling towards me. Lost in thought, I noticed the car too late and felt a strong impact. As my body was thrown, lying there unable to move from the pain, I could hear the noise around me and the sound of the car driving away. Right before I lost consciousness. Laura, Mary, Laura, are you awake? Hang on, I'll call the doctor. I regained consciousness to the sound of Mary's voice, which seemed on the verge of tears. I thought I had opened my eyes, but everything was pitch black. I couldn't see anything. I could vaguely sense Mary moving around frantically. Not understanding what was happening and unable to move my legs, I was filled with anxiety. Then the doctor called by Mary explained to me, I know this is shocking, but please try to stay calm. Laura, your eyes were damaged in the accident. To put it bluntly, I had become blind from the accident and also lost the use of my legs. I now faced a future where I could see nothing, would be confined to a wheelchair for life. Why me? I was so close. I was plunged into the depths of despair. With my condition, I couldn't pursue the dream I had worked so hard for. Mary was always by my side as I grieved. Laura, I won't give up. I'll work hard enough for both of us. I'll make our dream come true and give it to you as a present, so don't give up. Honestly, I thought about just disappearing, but Mary kept encouraging me, and somehow I managed to rethink things. Laura, when Kevin heard I had regained consciousness, he rushed to the hospital to see me. During my hospital stay, he stayed by my side, attentive to my needs as a blind person and listened to my fears, helping me distract myself a bit. I truly can't thank them enough, but that was only at the beginning. Mary stopped coming to visit me. With my current condition, I couldn't even contact Mary myself. What pushed me further was Kevin's attitude. Initially, Kevin was caring and talked a lot, but gradually he spoke less and visited less often. When he did come to the hospital room, he seemed to be busy on his smartphone. I could only hear the tapping sounds. Hey, Kevin, how's work going lately? It's none of your business. All I got back were curt responses. I was deeply hurt by his attitude, and above all, it was. It's hard that Mary had stopped visiting. In fact, I had entrusted Mary with the banking card for our dream savings account, thinking it was a place Kevin couldn't reach. I don't want to think it, but did she stop coming because she got hold of that banking card? Maybe Kevin isn't really worried about me at all. I became increasingly despondent alone in my hospital room. I spent my days crying in solitude. After a while spent living like this in the hospital, I was about to be discharged and return home. It's okay, I'm here for you, filled with anxiety. I chose to be discharged because Kevin had started being kind again. After getting into the car, I soon felt something was off. The hospital and our home are just a 10-minute drive apart. However, it was clear that we were traveling much longer than that. Kevin, where are we going? There's a place I want to stop by. But I wanted to go straight home, and it's daunting to go out when I can't see. Sensing my discomfort, Kevin spoke gently. The place I want to take you to is designed to be enjoyable even for those without sight. It's a diversion, and it's related to your dream, you know, my dream. The first person that came to mind was Mary. She said she would work hard for both of us, that she would achieve our dream and give it to me as a present. I hate to say this, Laura, but Mary betrayed you. What? Mary did what do you mean? At Kevin's words, I asked again, my voice trembling. I could tell that my voice was shaking. Actually, after getting your banking card, Mary disappeared. I've been searching for her ever since. I'm sorry I've been so harsh. In the hospital, I was frustrated because the search wasn't progressing. According to Kevin, his curt behavior was because he had been searching for Mary without telling me. The reason he was always on his smartphone was that he was gathering eyewitness accounts and contacting everyone he knew. At that moment, I couldn't believe Mary had betrayed me, and my thoughts froze. Normally, I might have noticed the oddities, but I couldn't. But I finally found her. So let's go confront her together, all right? And I nodded in agreement. Kevin continued driving the car for a while, heading somewhere. Where? I wonder if it's okay to go this far. As my anxiety grew, the car stopped. We're here. With Kevin's help, I got out of the car and was wheeled into what felt like an indoor space. Hey, Kevin, where are we? There's no sign of anyone here. Of course not. This is an abandoned house. I could feel Kevin's presence and voice fading away. I tried to reach out for him but couldn't grasp anything. Suddenly, fear overtook me. Kevin, where are you? Behind me, I could hear Kevin laughing. It's too much hassle to take care of you, and you're going to live here by yourself." With those words, I sensed the door being shut behind me. Then the sound of a lock clicking made me panic. "Kevin, hey, you're still there, right? Kevin?" I called out, but there was no reply. The silence that followed only increased my panic. "Kevin, please answer me." Oh no, I was in a wheelchair that I'm not used to yet. I accidentally tipped over and fell out of it. It hurts. How could this happen? I felt crushed by anxiety. Unless I spoke out. Where am I? Am I just going to die here alone? As I was overwhelmed by regret and sadness, tears began to flow. "Laura." The sound of the door opening enveloped me in warmth. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Laura." "Mary? Is that you, Mary?" I could feel the arms around me shaking and my shoulders slowly getting damp. Is Mary crying as she hugs me? Why is she here? What's happening? It's going to be okay now. Any doubts I had were drowned out by Mary's firm voice. And then, I was taken into Mary's care. 3 days later, while she had the TV on, a feature about a particular store was playing. As I listened, the door burst open, and the voice of the person I despised most in the world filled the room. "Hey, what is this all about? Oh dear, how dare you show your face? Laura, are you okay?" "Yes, of course. I have some things to say too." From his voice, it seemed Kevin was quite flustered. Mary and I greeted him. "Why are you still alive?" "Obviously, because I saved her that day." Mary had gone ahead to the abandoned house and hidden nearby, waiting for us. When Kevin left, she came out and rescued me. "Don't joke. You said you betrayed someone, right?" "I did betray someone, but it wasn't Laura. I betrayed you, Kevin." In fact, right after the accident, Kevin had approached Mary and pressed her for a relationship, despite his pretense of worrying about me. Mary grew suspicious of Kevin, who was trying to woo her. "You were after Laura's dream savings banking card and incidentally, my savings too." Mary had realized Kevin's scheme. It would have been easy to reject him on the spot, but thinking he might harm me, Mary decided to play along with his plan, pretending to betray me. What's that supposed to mean? Kevin was stunned, apparently not expecting to have been deceived himself. After Mary transferred her own savings to a different account, she gained Kevin's trust by giving him a banking card for an empty account. She cleverly led Kevin on, ensuring he couldn't use any funds from that card. So, I am deeply grateful to Mary. While Kevin was off guard, Mary bought the abandoned house he had left me in and had manipulated him by suggesting, if we leave her in that abandoned house, no one will ever find her. That way, we can make it look like she couldn't accept her situation and disappeared. As a result, Kevin left me in the abandoned house without any suspicion, and Mary safely retrieved me. It's good you're simple-minded. Thanks to that, we were able to establish our dream retro cafe. Yes, our dream was to run a retro cafe. Mary renovated the purchased abandoned house, and it just opened yesterday. And until just moments ago, it was being covered by a live TV broadcast. The broadcast on TV earlier was from that event. Kevin must have seen the live broadcast and rushed over. It can't be. I was deceived. Excuse us. As Kevin was in turmoil, there was a sign of a group entering the shop. In a low voice, Mary informed me that the group was the police. Apparently, Mary had called them ahead of time. "We need to talk about Laura's situation. I didn't do anything here. Please take this, it's evidence. Thank you for your cooperation." Then, I could hear Kevin causing a commotion as he was taken away by the police. I thought I heard him calling for my help, but I ignored it. He's gone. Okay, with Kevin gone, the shop fell silent. "Laura, what's wrong?" "Sorry, it's just, despite finally opening our dream retro cafe, I couldn't help but burst into tears. I had worked tirelessly to create a space where everyone could relax, yet in my current condition, not only was managing the cafe in question, but I might just be a burden to Mary. Thinking that the initial novelty might bring in customers but might not keep them coming, I couldn't stop the tears. There's still hope. Maybe you can still see. In fact, I had undergone eye surgery at the time of the accident. Because of this, I'm currently wearing an eye patch. However, I was told that it's highly likely that I'm blind, and even if not, my vision is significantly impaired. We could, by my lower body paralysis, doubts about Mary's loyalty, and Kevin's behavior, I was too scared to remove the eye patch that had led me to believe I was completely blind. I kept my promise and made our dream come true, so let's go to the hospital together. I nodded at her words. On a day the cafe was closed, Mary took me to the hospital. When the eye patch was removed, I could perceive light with glasses. "We can adjust this," Mary rejoiced, as if it were her own victory. Though I couldn't see her face, her happiness made me think, maybe I could keep trying just a little longer. Afterward, I divorced Kevin. Thanks to Mary's thorough investigation into Kevin, we discovered why he had become so tyrannical. Kevin had been having an affair with a younger colleague. Moreover, that affair's partner was the very person who had hit me with her car. Both were arrested for their respective crimes and ended up having to pay me a consolation money. My best friend suffered because of him. I will never forgive him. Mary, calm down. Even if you don't get involved, he has nothing but HLL waiting for him. During an interview, I accidentally let slip about how I got into this condition and that Kevin had abandoned me. Of course, Kevin was fired. Even after his release, he would face nothing but bleak days. On the other hand, I was doing well. The consolation money allowed me to buy good glasses. With my vision somewhat restored, my motivation soared. I'm still in a wheelchair, but I can do much more now. All the handicrafts in our store are made by me, and I continue to make more. In between office desks, these crafts have been well received by customers and have contributed to the store's profits. Just when the shop was thriving, and I had all but forgotten about Kevin. He showed up at the store before opening. "Laura, I'm truly sorry." Kevin came apologizing, but we ignored him and went about our usual opening routine. "Hey you. What, aren't you the guy who abandoned Laura? What do you want now? Aren't you ashamed to show your face around here?" Scolded by a customer, Kevin laughed sheepishly. I smiled at the customer who had chased him away from me. "Thank you, David. Not at all. I'm glad I came early." He's a regular at the shop and was the cameraman during the live TV broadcast. He has continued to visit as a customer since the broadcast. "I'm making drinks today too. Please make sure to order one." "Really? I'm looking forward to it. You do are so obvious." I gave Mary a wry smile, sensing she had caught onto something. I'm truly glad I decided to go through with the interview back then. Now we need to make sure he never appears before us again. "Wait, I can refer you to a good lawyer." "Thank you, please do. I don't want to waste any more time on Kevin. I must keep working hard for the sake of the customers who visit us." I quickly forgot about Kevin and immersed myself in work. The two of them kindly watched over me as I worked. Sometime later, "Did something good happen? You look very happy." "Yes, actually, I received a letter recently. The letter mentioned that there were people who were encouraged by seeing me work. It made me so happy that I couldn't help grinning. When you smile like that, you really look beautiful. I love seeing you like this. I'd like to date you if you're okay with that." His confession took me by surprise. To be honest, I was also attracted to him, which made me happy. However, I had to consider my physical condition. After I explained my situation, he said it didn't bother him. Still, I wanted some time to think it over, so we left it at that for now. I want Laura to be happy, still anyway, make sure you have no regrets. "Yes, thank you. Things have been going smoothly for me." In stark contrast, Kevin ended up in debt. He managed to find a job, but it's low paying and he's overworked, a far cry from before. Moreover, he's apparently being harassed by the family of his affair partner. I wondered why, but apparently, they told him, "You messed with our daughter, now you must take responsibility." Since he brought this upon himself, I find it hard to sympathize, so I just cheer him on from a distance. Thanks to the lawyer working hard, he can't ask me for any help and seems to be suffering quite a bit. "Serves him right," Mary muttered after seeing the results of the investigation. I agreed with her. After that, I remarried David. I chose to reciprocate the feelings of the man who accepted me entirely. Mary, who blessed our union, seems to have found someone good as well. While Mary could only afford the abandoned house, this person helped out extensively and hurried the remodeling into the retro cafe. They were in a mutual crush for a long time, hesitant about the age difference. I was told that they decided to get married, encouraged by our presence. "It's thanks to you, Laura. It's me who should be thankful. Because of Mary, I could find happiness. I would have given up on life a long time ago if I were alone. I'm truly grateful Mary was there for me. Will you keep supporting me?" "Of course. I finally got to repay you." I tilted my head at that remark. "You helped me back in our school days." "What?" She seemed to have been isolated in middle school. I reached out to Laura when we entered high school. "Since then, you have been good to me. You didn't mock my dreams but pursued them with me. Which is why I could keep going." Hearing that, I felt like crying. I decided to cherish this bond.